Hello everybody and welcome back to Cask and Point. Today we're going to be trying two brand new Heaven Hill releases and we're going to find out if they're any good. So we're going to be starting off with Heaven Hill Unity. Now this is their variation of like Wild Turkey Generations where they've mixed barrels that have been by multiple distillers, and so their oldest, the most unique, the most interesting part about it is that there is something that's 34 years old in here. Now it's totally possible this is literally just one barrel of 34-year-old whiskey in like a 200 barrel blend, and so it means absolutely nothing, but because it's in there they can claim that it's in there, and so that's really driven up the price on these. So the secondary market is still like $400 to $450, which is pretty expensive, so I'm expecting some pretty good things out of it. But I will say, we're gonna see about that. The color doesn't look particularly impressive, the rest of the blend doesn't look particularly impressive. I'll show all the details on your screen right now, but it is meant to be this blend of all these different ages, and 34 years old would be probably the oldest pre-fire Heaven Hill I've ever even heard of, so definitely a cool fun fact, but it's a good whiskey. And then the second one here better be good whiskey. This is William Heaven Hill 19 year. This is 138.2 proof year. So this bottle has been trading at over $1,500. I've even seen it go as high as $2,000, $2,300. This is not a cheap pour at all. I will say the color looks absolutely amazing on it. It is, thankfully it's not hazmat, and thankfully it's not 20 years old, because if this was a 20-year hazmat, really not too far off from a 19-year 138.2 proof that it is, that bottle would be worth like $4,000. So the fact that it's not that, I'm really happy about that. And I think a lot of people have been hoping to buy this for like $1,000, $800, closer to what would probably be a little bit more reasonable for it. But today we're gonna find out if it's any good. So let's start off here with this Heaven Hill Unity and let's find out what it's all about. So this is, I believe the youngest component in it is 7 years old and it's 107 proof. So we're at the stats that wouldn't particularly impress me, but like I said, there's supposedly 34-year-old whiskey in this. So we're gonna find out if it's worth that. Also on the nose, there's actually a surprisingly rich oak to it. Not an oak that I would expect off of like a 20-year whiskey, but it's definitely smelling older than 7, maybe like 8, 9, 10 years old. Some caramels and some vanillas on it, nothing particularly unique. Pretty classic Heaven Hill profile to this. There is a little bit of nuttiness on it. A little bit of walnut, but really not much. But honestly, just kind of smells like pretty good Kentucky distillate. It actually doesn't smell like pretty much anything unique. It smells good though. Let's take a sip. It's okay. It's actually pretty good. Like, there is a nice rich oakiness to it. It's not super potent, and it definitely doesn't last forever. I'd say the finish on that is like medium length, but it's a solid pour. It's a pour that I think is cool to try once, but honestly, it's kind of just drinking like pretty solid Heaven Hill to me. This is like a pretty good Elijah Craig store pick to me. I'm not seeing the vision at $400, $450. Maybe others are, and cheers to them. But I've had pre-fire juice, I've had 20-year Heaven Hill, I've had all these things before, and this is not that good. I actually just tried the Parker's 24-year the other day, and so I've really been getting into pre-fire, and you guys will probably see a couple of pre-fire videos coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is a cool fun fact that there's 34-year-old distillate in this, but it's okay at best. It is opening up to a little bit of cherry, but it's just a very classic flavor profile. I mean, there's really, like, there's nothing special on it. There's nothing bad about it. It's definitely a $100 pour to me, but yeah, not at $450. But okay, let's move on to the William Heaven Hill. That was our warm-up pour. I wasn't expecting great things out of that. It's 107 proof. There's a lot of distillate in that is not 34 years old. If there was a lot more 34-year-old in there, yeah, people would be paying thousands. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, let's get into this gorgeous William Heaven Hill. Super rich, deep, musty oak is really shooting out of this one. There's a nice vanilla on it. There's a nice orange on it. A little bit of berry, fruity. It sounds like a berry compote, like a really deep kind of berry, but it's light. Now, it smells proofy and it smells oaky, which is, it is proofy and it is oaky. So, okay, I will say, so far it is smelling the part. Let's take a sip. All right, that Heaven Hill Unity, I don't know what we're doing there. That we are in business. That is totally worth MSRP, as I'm sure you guys imagine. That's worth easily $500, $600, $700. I would say, when I start thinking about it in terms of like the Elijah Craig Pirate batches here, so I'm a big Elijah Craig Pirate fan. I've actually tried all of them in a video. Check that video out if you haven't already. These are like $600, $700. And those have a really nice, rich oakiness to them. And I think this William Heaven Hill, it's pretty similar to that. But I will say where it's struggling is that it doesn't give me anything particularly unique. Like, I'm not getting like a super rich, deep berry note that I just wouldn't really be getting on anything else. I just get a nice, rich oakiness. And it's pretty good. And it's definitely not too tannic. And for 19-year distillate to not be too tannic means a lot. But is it worth $1,500? I don't really see the vision there. I think if we were talking in terms of like those Elijah Craig pirate batches that are like $600-700, this is pretty good if it was around the same price. If it was even a little bit more, I can understand that because this is all 19-year distillate. It's super oaky. I think if you're not an oak fan, you're really not gonna like this. But even if you're an oak fan, I'm digging for more. I'm digging for the fruitiness. I'm digging for the sweet. I'm digging for all the unique flavors. It's just really oaky, which is good. I love oak, and I love oak that's, you know, kind of sweet, not super tannic, not super bitter. It's all those things. This is not a bitter pour. This is not a tannic pour. This is not a pour that I think somebody would try and say, wow, that's bad. It's definitely not bad by any means, and it cannot be construed as such. But is it an impressive pour? Is it a pour that I say everybody should go out and buy? Honestly, not really. Let's take this final sip here and let's see. Oh, they made a really oaky pour with that one. It's good, and it's rich, and it's oaky, and it's better than William Heaven Hill 13, 15, and 17, those last three variants. And William Heaven Hill has done some funky things. I honestly have not explored the run too much. I've gotten very into Parkers recently, and I've actually have samples of all the different Parkers. So we're going to do a crazy flight one day with all of them, and I've started to try a lot of them, and I've really been enjoying them. With the William Heaven Hills, I just haven't had that many of them. I've had the 13, 15, and 17, and that's it, those last three variants. And this is definitely way better than those. But at $1,500, I don't really see the vision. And MSRP though, totally worth it. Totally worth MSRP. So a couple $100, sure. $500-600, honestly, yeah, if you really like oak, I think that is unique in that it has an incredibly rich oak, but it's not super tannic and bitter. Don't overpay for that bottle though. Don't pay $1,500 for that. It's just, it's good, but it's, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and rate that. I'm speaking negatively out of it just because of the secondary of it, but it is a really good I'm going to rate that an 8.7. I think it is really solid. It's just not hitting the 9.0 range for me, which I'm paying $1,500 for a bottle. I'm looking for 9.0, 9.3, stuff like that, and it's just not there for me. It's kind of on par with like a nice $600 bottle, like a GTS, something like that, but it's not that much better than that to me. Okay, let's go back to this Heaven Hill Unity real quick. And unsurprisingly, it's super light after drinking the 138 proof, but I still really like this. Honestly, this for $450 versus this for like $1,800, I'll take this because I lost less money. That doesn't mean it's a better pour at all. I'm going to rate that an 8.2. I think it's a solid pour. I think for like $150-200, you really can't go wrong. For $450, you can go wrong. For $1,800, you could definitely go wrong with the William Heaven Hill. I was hoping this would be a more positive video, but honestly, I don't know. Heaven Hill just hasn't been really coming out with the bangers recently. I love Heaven Hill. I love Elijah Craig Pirates. I've gotten very into Heaven Hill. But honestly, this might be a hot take, but Wild Turkey is doing better with their special releases. With the Generations, with Russell's 15, with all these great things that they've been releasing with the Beacon and all that. They're releasing 16-year juice. It's $300, and it's not that hard to get because they're making a lot of it, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on either of these releases, but anyways, that's Heaven Hill for you. I still love Heaven Hill. It's still a top 3 distillery for me. I used to say it's probably my second favorite after Buffalo Trace. Wild Turkey, though, is catching up quickly. And I'll just say that. It's still my second favorite, and I really would have loved for these to be even better. They are still both really good. They're not bad at all. I think for MSRP, they're both easy buys, but secondary on Heaven Hill just tends to get a little bit crazy for me. But anyways, hope you all had fun. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.